Hello, this is Tomas and I'm here to tell you something about Acm Sac 2020 in Brno, Czech Republic. So we are proposing this conference and for the next year to take place in Brno. Here is the outline of my presentation. So I will say where Brno is, something about the history perhaps, the hosting organizations, venue, transportation, how can we get to Brno. There are so many options regarding tours, plenty of hotels, and then I will ask my colleague Dana, who should be there in person, to play the live video about the guidance to go to Brno. So what is it to visit there, how is the life there, and so on. So location, it is in the center of Europe. It is in Brno, which is the second biggest city in the Czech Republic. So as you hear me, I'm pronouncing it Brno. And this would be the typical capital for the Morava. So Morava is the second largest area of the Czech Republic. There is Bohemia, Moravia, and Silesia. And historically, Moravia had its own separate part of history. Then some parts of it are also connected with the Czech Kingdom, etc. So when we talk about Brno, we see a few pictures here, how it looked in the past, and the settlement is known around 1000 AD. There was a famous Slav fort that was that had the purpose of the Great Moravian Empire. Eventually, the capital city of it, the statute of the town, was given in 1243. And as I mentioned later on, it was the capital. So there are nowadays plenty of institutions in here. And this was industrial center in the past. So you perhaps heard of Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So Czech Kingdom, the part of those were usually very industrial, and Morava was, or Brno was sometimes called also Moravian Manchester. So what are the facts? If you ask a person from Brno, they would say, yeah, we have 400,000 people, even though the metropolitan area has 800,000. There are 90,000 students. So considering the overall population there, it's a lot, right? So there are around 13 institutes, basically universities. There are other important parts such as constitutional and Supreme Court that we have. There is a largest, 23rd largest in the world exhibition center. Well, one option is to host the conference there, but we believe that it might be better to serve it in a center, which I will introduce slightly later. Brno is famous for road racing, so there are motorbikes that are there annually competing. There is a UNESCO protected heritage with Villa Tugendhat, so certainly something to visit. However, you might consider to schedule the visit ahead of time. So if you would organize it as a tour, we need to know ahead of time. It is very popular and they only let few people in each day. In 2007, it was City of Music under the UNESCO, and there are so many natural sightseeings, usually caves. So the area that we will be into is Moravian Karst, and hopefully all over the options for the excursions, we will also have one option that goes and takes us outside of Brno. Before I jump to the next slide, I would also suggest consider the famous names such as Gregor Mendel, basically the father of genetics. Leoš Janáček was a famous composer, and plenty of you, I'm sure, know Milan Kundera. So he was born in Brno. Hosting institutions, so Masaryk University, Czech Technical University, which actually is in Prague, Red Hat, which you have my colleague from Red Hat, and I'm from Baylor University, even though formally Czech Technical University, and I'm still connected with them. So these will be our hosts. And of course, ACM will be providing the umbrella for it. Who are the host personnel? So Masaryk University, Václav Matyáš, Czech Technical University, Miroslav Bureš. The pictures basically follow as I read them if you go right down. From Red Hat, we will have there Matěj and Dana, who is there in person, Dorota, and for Baylor University is NG Song and me, Tomáš. So the venue. So this is what we propose, which basically highlights on the right side of the picture the map where we have the downtown, and I highlighted there where is the castle, where is the downtown. The bullet from Google is the hotel. It's very close from the rail station, so it is really a walking distance, and Tugendhat UNESCO protected house is also some shorter distance, of course not with a luggage, but you can walk that direction easily, or you can take tram. So the proposal for the venue we have is Hotel International. It also has a secondary name Best Western, and it has nice capacity for us to have there enough rooms for the session breakouts as well as for the keynote speeches. And what's the advantage? It's in the downtown, so the downtown has plenty of things to do and we will be very close. We can be accommodated here, however it is not necessarily required. All the guests can be accommodated in other hotels as well. How do you get to Brno? Well, one option is to fly there. Why not? However, Brno connections are not as high as you would get in London or in Frankfurt or in Prague. So very often locals would fly from Prague, and to get from Prague to Brno you could take bus or train, and you can see the prices are very reasonable. So €8 would be for bus, and what I would suggest is to look at the RegioJet or student agency. You can also consider Czech Rails, the Arriva bus or German Flixbus. There is also large private company Leo Express that has both trains, very well equipped trains, as well as the RegioJet air and buses. You can also fly to Wien and take a train or bus, and you can see the prices and the timing is similar. If you take a good schedule for the bus, it can be shorter, it can be 1.5 hours rather than 2. So from Prague to Brno, rather count on 2.5 hours. You can also fly to Bratislava, which is Slovakia, and again under 2 hours you can get there by train or by bus. So these would be the most common ways. You can also fly to to Poland and take Poland from Krakow or from Katowice. It depends. So you might consider which connection is the most reasonable for you regarding planning, depending on which direction you are coming from. Regarding the tours, so what do we have here? Oh, something scary. What are those skulls? Well, this is Brno Underground, so certainly we should go to see Brno Underground, because where else you would see something so morbid, right? Oh, well, it is a lot of fun. I have been in those places, not specifically in Brno, but anytime I'm taking my colleagues and friends who are visiting Czech Republic, this is something that is very, very nice to visit. So then we have there the option to visit caves, and you can see this huge hall on the right side, and again, we would have to book ahead of time. Then some other interesting areas. So on the top we have Mikulov. So that's a place where we could go to have a tour, and it's usually this area connected with wine. So if you like wine, this is the winery that recently wins a lot of competitions on having a good wine. It depends. Someone likes bitter, someone likes sour. So you will find out if this is the sort of wine that you like. Then what else do we have there? Very nice area is Telč, or on the left side is a castle called Lednice. In Czech it means refrigerator, but it has perhaps nothing to do with that. And it is also a very nice piece of history that we preserve. And the same castle we have on the bottom left, which you see. In the middle on the bottom you can see typical wine cellar. So these would be typical places to visit in the Mikulov or areas that are basically south of Brno. And we could have their dinner, why not? I would say the capacity would not be 300, but if it's part of a tour and it could be organized for fewer people, it's something that certainly is worth to visit. Regarding hotels, so basically what I have here are a few highlights. On the left side we can see the prices as of yesterday. So there is even accommodation for €19. Oh wow. Well, there are even pricier accommodations. I believe that this 19 would be hostel. However, the hotels and reasonable places would be slightly higher. For instance, on the right side, I put what is the top hotel. So you can notice that this Best Western, when we propose to have the venue, is the second top pick. And there are nearby hotels such as Courtyard by Marriott, only €81, or other hotels within the range of €100. And it's all walking distance, so it's not necessarily something that we have to be bound to a single particular location. So now I would ask my colleague Dana if she could play this YouTube video. So I hope that you have there good audio, and this has something like 7 minutes. I apologize if it has something inappropriate, but at least you know how we are in the Czech Republic, and you will basically see the exact same thing when you come there. And perhaps before I will lose my chance to ask for questions, so you can ask Dana, who is there locally, some questions about Brno, or some questions that she cannot answer. Please feel free to post on Tomasz_Cerny at Baylor.edu. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in 1 year in Brno.